morning, YouTube fans. This is Ramey Jordan with the Jordan Box Truck Camper Update. Today's August 5th, 2017. It's been about 2 years since I bought this truck. And so today I'm going to make a significant modification to power on a vent fan using a solar panel. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to use here in just a minute. And I'm going to install a Ventline Vanair vent fan. It's a 12-volt fan. And the purpose of all this install is to set up the fan in such a way that during the day it'll run on the solar power when the van is not being used, and then when I'm traveling and I don't need the vent, I'm going to switch it over to power the batteries, to charge the batteries while I'm traveling. So let me show you the setup I'm going to put together here real quickly, and then I'm going to get started. So here we go. So first off, you can see here I've got this is a Renogy 100-watt solar panel. It's got a nice set of connectors on the back. If you're going to buy something like this, be sure you get an extension set of connectors so you can hook it up to your controller. And then in addition to that, I've got an MPPT solar controller that I'm going to hook up here. This will allow me to hook up the panel to the batteries. So this is the Ventline Vanair fan. Comes with a nice little ring here, and then the way this operates is you'll of course with the ring installed on the inside of the cabin, you'll push that up and the vent fan will rise up like that from underneath. It's got a power switch here on the side, and I've tested this already and it doesn't seem to be as loud as I thought it might have been. I've heard other people think they may be a little loud, but I didn't think it was that loud. So let me show you how it works. One other thing else I'm doing is I've hooked up this little gizmo right here. I'll be mounting this on a panel, but what this does, this is a little variable speed controller with an on-off switch with forward and reverse. Now I found that while this thing does do a forward and reverse on the fan, the blades on the fan aren't really designed to blow air back in the same way they are going out. So you really don't get much of an impact on air coming back in through the vent fan as you would with it going out. So it goes out much stronger than it would coming in. So in either way, it doesn't seem to make a difference whether it's reversed or not. So but anyway, this will give me you can see this little variable switch right here. You'll see it mounted later, and then an on-off switch that's connected here. And I'm doing this in addition to the switch over here on the fan, which I'll just kind of leave on the on position. In addition to this, in fact, let me turn this on and you'll see how loud the fan is. So the fan's running now. I'm going to run it to high speed. So this is the fan running at high speed. And as I said, I can control this to a lower speed. Just so you see here, it's drawing 1.36 amps at high speed. I've got it turned down now to a slower speed, and it's drawing 0.21 amps. So I'm going to do it that way so that it doesn't run full speed off the solar panel all the time. I can set it to where it'll just draw out at the speed that I want. Plus, the slower you run it, the less noisy it is. So okay, so step one, after I've gotten all my preparations done, is to drill the 6-inch hole in the roof. I've done that, and I've got the wire run into the electrical area that I'll hook that up. This is what it looks like. 6-inch hole. This now will drop down in here like that, and it'll seal down here. I'm going to use this butyl tape to seal it down in there, and it'll mount about right like that. So once I screw it down with the butyl tape, with some nice bolts here. Then we'll be all done with this part, and then I'll put the cap back on. Alright, we'll do that. Okay, so we're here on the roof area of the truck. This is the vent here. Installed, caulked. This is the cable entry for the solar panel. We're using this Eternabond tape and caulked to the ceiling or the roof. And here's the solar panel itself. I mentioned this is a 100-watt solar panel mounted back here behind the AC unit, so it'll buffer it from the wind. Alright, so there it is. So you'll notice here I now have a Ventline Vanair vent fan. It's a 6-inch hole that's got to be drilled. When I did that, I realized that my roof insulation is actually 2 inches thick from when I originally installed it. And you can see this fan's running right now. And what I've done here is to set up some controls with these two plates that I'll explain in just a second. First off, this fan speed is now controllable. You can see this little controller blinking, and I'll explain why in a minute, but I'll turn that down just a little bit. And then I can turn it off. If it's set to switch 1, it'll blow out. If I pull it down here, it'll suck air in, although it's not designed to do that very well. It will do it a little bit. And I'll also show you that with the solar panel, I've set this up specifically to run this fan only with the solar panel, such that it'll vent this cabin when I'm not using this truck, and it'll operate and come on and off with the sun. And so if I'm in another situation where I don't need that, then I can switch this over to charge the battery with the solar panel specifically and not run this fan. I don't want to do both of them at the same time. But what else I've done here is to make some changes to my control panels here. This little module here is the one that controls the speed of the fan and the forward reverse. This switch here, as you can see, is a double pole, double throw switch, and it's connected to this neat little voltage controller right here. So this voltage controller, I can detect what the speed is coming, or the voltage coming in. Right now it's at 7.4 volts because the sun is just coming up, and I can toggle this back and forth to confirm what the output voltage is. This is the output voltage now at 7.4 volts. It's running at 0.09 amps at the moment. That fan is running because the sun's coming up. Okay. Anyway, this is a neat little unit. It'll just cycle through those now. In addition, I had put in this MPPT controller, which you can see up here right now is showing access from the battery to a load. Of course, there is no load on here at the moment. But if I want to now switch off of the fan to here, I'll do that. Now you're going to see the solar panel showing up with the battery. The battery is fully charged, so right now it doesn't, it's not running arrows toward the battery because it's fully charged. So it would be sending battery power to a load if it had one on here, but there is no load on here at the moment. So as I mentioned, the whole purpose of doing all of this was to set up this fan in such a way as it would be running off of solar power. So when I switch this back on, you'll see it'll start spinning, and it's only running on solar power at the moment. And I can control that with this speed dial here to speed it up or slow it down once we get into full power from the solar panel. So right now it's running about half half power because of the sun is just coming up and not fully overhead. So alright, so there it is. Those are my changes for having a vent fan running off solar power, as well as the ability to charge the battery whenever I feel like it via solar panel. Okay, so I cleared away a couple of banana leaves from the solar panel because it's getting daylight, and you can see the fan is running at a much higher speed now, and you'll notice here that the inside incoming voltage is now 20 volts. Output voltage I set to 14.5. The fan's pulling 0.6 amps at the moment. I'm going to turn it up the rest of the way so you can see how much noise it makes. It's not too bad. If we stand away from it a little bit, it's not too noisy. Now that I have full voltage, it's running at its full speed of almost 1.5 amps, 1.3, and I can dial it down, slow it down if I'd like. There you go. Now let's turn it off to demonstrate how you open and close this fan. This handle right here actually pulls down and closes the cap down onto the outside of the vent. So that's how that works there. So now it's not a very deep throw on that handle, but now it's closed. Open it up, you just push it back up, and it's fully open. Now what I want to test now is the power from the solar panel to the MPPT, so we'll try this now. See there? Now you can see the arrow moving back and forth from the solar panel to the battery. And as I mentioned, I don't have a load on here. I used to have this fan as a load on this MPPT, but the problem is that using an MPPT like this won't allow you to set up the fan in such a way it runs strictly on solar power because the MPPT is in the way. So that's why I went to this other controller mechanism. So there's my input voltage. So that's a rotating setting. There's the input voltage, 20.6 volts at the moment. As I mentioned, I've got it set for an output voltage of 14.5. So we're going to turn the fan back on via voltage from the solar panel. So that's for solar, and now I'm going to turn the fan on. Okay. If you got any questions, my email address is on the back, or you can always post a comment on the YouTube channel. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate all the feedback, and good luck in your own builds. Safe travels.